don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table. Where we chop up locally, globally, events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little. Get that wine in your system for your glass a little. Expose current events talk, trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock it. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation. Bring it to the table, but if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn it back until you start try again. Yeah,
welcome to the hood table.
You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix,
you don't need cable. Hey, I had some background noise in the back, so I'm gonna play that one more again.
You don't need Netflix,
you don't need cable.
Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table. Where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little. Get that wine in your system for your glass a little. Expose current events talk, trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content,
got them binge watching.
You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before
you talking out.
Don't wanna miss a second of this
HD content.
Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation. Bring it to the table, but if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn it back until you start try again. Yeah,
welcome to the hood table.
You don't need Netflix,
you don't need cable. Hey.
Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey, welcome to the chat. Hey everybody, welcome to the chat. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And also make sure you share the live out if you like. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, IG, and join our private Facebook group. Our private Facebook group is called The Hood Table. So look us up on Facebook under The Hood Table. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and drop that link real quick to make it a little easier for you. And hey, Deborah, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Hey, you beautiful. How have you been? Thanks for tuning in tonight. If you watch this show on Hulu, I would definitely love for you to participate in the conversation to those coming in. And tell me your thoughts on the show Little Fires Everywhere, which is on Hulu. For those of you who don't have Hulu is only $5 and some change if you don't mind commercials. Now, if you want no commercials, I think it's like $9 or $10. Don't quote me, but I know it's $5 and some change on Hulu if you don't mind commercials, and I really don't mind commercials, so I paid a little $5. I'm like, because they nickel and diming us everywhere: cable, Netflix, Hulu, BET Plus, the Disney app. I mean, Stars, HBO, Showtime. They just nickel and diming us everywhere. So I deal with commercials when it comes to TV apps and stuff like that. But anyway, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So again, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the live out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I'm about to put our link in here right now. This link I'm dropping right now is for our private Facebook group. So if you are interested in joining our private Facebook group, and when I say private, I don't mean nothing explicit. I just mean it's a private group. People can find the group on Facebook, but they can't see what's typed in the group or see the post in the group. So yeah. So anyway, so please feel free to join that the Hood Table on Facebook. We talk about all kind of stuff. We joke around in there. We have fun. We laugh. It's just a Facebook group, and we talk about different things going on in the communities, in the hood, in the news, stuff like that. And we also I get feedback on from members, asking them what they want to talk about on our Friday Night Lives, and people will post topics or they'll inbox me a topic. So anyway, please feel free to click that link in the chat and join us on Facebook in our private group. Now, Little Fires Everywhere. I had actually heard some mixed reviews on this show at first. And so even though it's been out for a minute, I wasn't even thinking about watching it. Didn't really care to watch it. I mean, I really didn't feel no type of way about it. I just was like, oh, I ain't heard too many good reviews. I'm not going to watch it. But the more and more time has passed, and I'll be seeing different reviews, and one in particular was from my best friend. She had posted on Facebook that the TV show she thought was awesome. And so I asked her, I'm like, is it really, bestie? And she said, yes, you got to watch it. So I watched it, and I actually liked it. The people who say they didn't like it, I don't know, to each his own. There's stuff that I hate that other people like. So you know how it goes. But anyway, I'm a big fan of Reese Witherspoon. I'm a big fan of what's her name? Kerry Washington. I'm a big fan of both of them, and there's a few other people, you know, in the show that, you know, I'm a big fan of. And then some of the characters I was like, who are they? But you know, all the characters I thought, even though the ones I've never seen before, all the characters in the show that I saw, I thought did really great jobs. Now, a lot of them might be actors. I just maybe never seen them before. But I thought, for the most part, I think the acting was awesome. From the youngest child to, you know, the adults. I thought the acting was awesome. So I want to start off with saying that. The storyline has so many twists and turns. I thought it was suspenseful. Some parts I thought were very entertaining, and some parts I thought really, really made you think, because of course, you know, in a lot of TV shows, there's always some kind of racial undertone, and sometimes you don't really see it until you see it. So this was one of those type of shows where I didn't really see the racial undertone till I actually saw it. And when I say that, I mean mainly from one of the star characters, which was Reese Witherspoon, who played the mother of the Richardson. She was Elena Richardson. So when I say like the racial undertone, I'm mainly referring to her. There was some other people whose part carried some kind of racial undertone to their storyline, but for the most part, it was Elaine. I think it's Elena. So I want to know what y'all thought about her character. Did y'all see that coming from her? Like, I really didn't. When I first started watching the show, I mean, the first thing that literally crossed my mind was, this is such a wonderful, delightful, you know, you hate to say it, you know, you hate to be like stereotypical, but I'm like, this is such a wonderful white woman. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound stereotypical, but I mean, we humans, and that was the first thing that, you know, I thought was, oh my gosh, she's so nice, she's so pleasant. And you know, it's not every day where you see somebody who's rich and wealthy and comes from wealth and come from an affluent neighborhood, and you know, background and schooling and all that kind of stuff, and to look down on somebody who doesn't have much, what she thought she didn't have. You know, it was she prejudged, she misjudged Mia, who was Kerry Washington. She misjudged her, prejudged her, and assumed that this lady, because she was sleeping in her car, she just assumed that she was poor. She just assumed. Now, my thing is this. From the very beginning of the show, Kerry Washington, her tone started off as if she was poor, as if she was homeless, as if she was this strong, you know, black woman who didn't want handouts and didn't, you know, appreciate somebody trying to give her stuff and, you know, things like that. But at the same time, it's like, do y'all think that Kerry tricked her way into that home initially? Like the way she was like, oh, the rent can only be this month. Oh, we only gonna be on month to month because, you know, we move a lot and whoop 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 whoop. Like, she was making it seem like she didn't have any money. And the thing about it was, Kerry Washington might not have money in cash, but she had priceless items. I mean, she had valuable items, photographs and paint and artwork and stuff that she could have hawked or sold at any time. Like, her skills, her talent was amazing. The type of artist that she was, I mean, she was totally like one of those artists who actually sees everything and can use anything in her art. Like when she made that whole city, when she made not the whole city but the whole neighborhood, where they was living, when she made the whole neighborhood out of flour, like the flour that you cook with. She had brought flour, like a whole bunch of flour from the store. And if you was paying attention, when she was going down the aisles, everything she bought was like off-brand. Was like a cheaper version. Like she had grabbed the brown bags of flour because they had the name brand. They had the name brand sugar. They had the can't talk, the name brand flour and everything. And she grabbed the off brand. And I was like, was there like a message in that at first? The way, they was like showing the name brand and they was like the camera was just like slowly focusing, on the name brand versus the brand name, the off-brand name of the, products in the store. But yeah, she can envision anything and make art out of anything. The bicycle she put together for her daughter. I mean, she hated hand-me-downs. But when she first went to that house, to that apartment, I'm thinking, I think she tricked her way into that house. I really do believe that. So that's why I'm asking y'all, do y'all feel the same way? Because she obviously knew that this area, that this location, that this neighborhood, like as soon as you drive up in this neighborhood, that's like me. If you're in Omaha and I drive out to Regency, I'm living in my car and I'm broke as a joke, and I drive out to Regency. And as soon as I drive into the neighborhood, every house seemed like they cost $2, $3, $4, $5 million. And you keep going to look at this house that you see in the ad. And even if the ad said it was not apartment, but a duplex. I'm still thinking a duplex in Regency got to cost an arm and a leg. So that's why I think she tricked her way into that apartment building, because she might not have had a lot of cash on her, but she could make cash like easily. She can make cash easily, sell artwork, sell paintings, do art shows. So, it was like when her daughter got upset when she found out that her mother was able to afford to pay for her friend, for BB's lawyer, so BB could fight for the custody of her daughter. Her daughter was like, you mean to tell me we've been living in cars? We've been bouncing city to city, state to state, house to house. I mean, we can't even stay in a house long enough where we can paint all the walls because we broke. And then, like, just like that, you can get somebody $30,000 for a lawyer to fight for their kid. I was like, I don't think she was really as destitute as she made it seem. And that's one thing that Reese Witherspoon, her character, Elena Richardson, the mother of the Richardsons, the main character, that was one of the things that pissed her off when she kept, talking to her husband. And to people, she was like, this lady made us believe that she was poor and that she was broke and that she couldn't afford the rent. Like, Elena cut the rent down. She chopped the deposit down. She told them they could live month by month. I mean, she totally catered to what Kerry Washington Mia, her character, act like they needed. And that's why I said in the beginning, I did not see no racial undertone. I just saw Elena as this nice, influential, rich lady in a nice neighborhood, husband who's a big time lawyer, and they just can go, without. They don't need to make all this money off this apartment or off this duplex house. And so I think like a lot of people, when they was talking about the racial undertone in this show, it really don't show up till like towards the middle part of the TV show. It kind of creeps up on you, like the things that happen in the show I didn't expect. Like Kerry Washington, her storyline as Mia, I didn't expect, her storyline, like with her daughter and everything. I thought these people were really poor. I mean, I'm thinking that her baby daddy, he maybe he was a married man, maybe he was cheating on his wife, and like she told her daughter that your father didn't want you. Like every time her daughter, Pearl would ask about her father, and Mia or Maya, she would tell her, oh, he didn't want you. Just know that I wanted you and you were wanted by me. So basically, her daughter's whole life, everything about her life was one big lie. Everything was a secret. And that's why her daughter hated her. Well, I don't want to say hated her, but she just kind of, she really, really hated the fact that her mother lied to her about everything. And that's why I'm tripping, because they don't want to have a season 2. Like the writers and producers is like, when we first started off, we wanted this to be a one and done, just a one and done miniseries on Hulu. But the way it ended, I definitely think they should have at least one more season, because there's so many questions left. There's so many things that were up in the air. On the last episode, which was episode 8, there were so many things that was up in the air. For me, I'm like, hold on, no. I want to know what happened with Maya, and I want to know what happened to Izzy, and I want especially Izzy. Like Izzy's storyline is one that I have seen for decades. And it's not that from a white or Caucasian, from a rich, wealthy family point of view, just from a gay point of view, where you don't really know who you are, you don't know how to fit in, you embarrassed, you ashamed, you feel rejected, you like, I don't know. I don't think Izzy, I'm saying Lizzie, I don't think Izzy ever had like an identity problem where she felt, am I gay? Am I straight? Do I like girls? Do I like boys? I think that was something that was always in her from a young age, because at the time where this show starts off, you can just tell that she knew who she was. You can tell from the way she dressed, from the way she wore her hair, to not wanting to wear dresses, to not wearing the cute shoes that her mother always wanted her to wear. And her mother is like, she didn't see it at all. Everybody else saw it. Everybody. It's like her mother was just way up here and just seeing everything as just perfect in her little world. And she was not seeing none of the stuff that her kids was doing at all. I actually think her husband could have probably cheated on her behind her back, and she probably wouldn't have saw it because she was in her own little world. And her husband, like I said in the beginning, I didn't realize how, I don't know, this in the beginning of the episode, in the other season, I didn't see how, to me, now this is to me, this is the Reese Witherspoon character as Elena. This how she looked to me once I really saw through her fake hate. I'm like, in the beginning, I'm like, oh, she's so sympathetic. She's so decent. She has compassion. She's thoughtful. She's kind. She's, all these things. That's what I'm thinking when I first see her character. But then, like, as the show goes on, I'm like, this chick is crazy. She's mean. She's cruel. She's deranged. She's egotistical. She's a narcissist. I mean, I all these thoughts was coming through my head about who this lady really is. And I think her daughter, what's her name? Lexi. I think her daughter is kind of the same way. Like, out of all the kids, Lexi was probably the most like Elena, the Reese Witherspoon character. Her daughter, Lexi, I think was the most close to her. I mean, from the way she dressed, her makeup, she always had to be so cute. The way she talked, she was so proper. She was so, like bougie and all this kind of stuff, compared to her sister, Izzy, and compared to both of her brothers. I mean, she was the one that stood out as like, it's this all about me. Like, that's one thing Elena's husband told her. You always think everything is about you. Everything is not about you. You always make everything about you. And she did. She did. But again, in the beginning, Elena's character, I thought she was just this, I don't know. I just thought she was this amazing woman, taking in this family, allowing them to live in her home practically rent-free month to month in an affluent neighborhood. I mean, They could have got all kind of money off that house, off that duplex, but she didn't. So anywho, y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Elena character, which is the mother, and how the person that she slowly just in the end, when she told Izzy, we didn't hear that all the way to the end. Like, we heard her tell her husband, I never wanted another child. Like, there are a lot of people who don't want more children. There are a lot of people who don't want more children. They're like, oh, we got enough. This is all we can handle. Or another mouth to feed would be too much of a burden. But then when they get pregnant and they have that baby, it's like automatically, oh, we got a new baby. And, it might not be so exciting in the beginning when they find out, but you gradually get into like, oh, we're having another baby. Is it going to be a boy or girl? You start thinking about names. You start, all this kind of stuff. And we finally heard at the end, Elena had been saying it throughout the show, that she, after 3 kids, she wants to stop. She wanted to make it to the LA Times, not somewhere in Ohio. She didn't want to work at a news station or a journalism station in Ohio. She always had her dreams and her sights on working at the New York Times, where her ex, it was currently working. So, but at the end, when she was talking to Izzy and she got so extremely mad, she told her, I never wanted you in the first place. And like when she told her, it's so hard to be your mother, I'm just thinking, this is just a mother who is really, really trying really, really hard, to deal with their child, to work with a child, to mother their child. I'm sure there's people out there who have kids that are just like, ugh. I mean, sometimes I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes with my kids, I'll be like, oh my God, where'd y'all come from? Every mother has that moment where they're like, oh my God, these kids is getting on my nerves. But, to tell your child, I never wanted you in the first place, that was so heartbreaking. I mean, I think there's a few times when I teared up throughout the whole season, but that one part right there just totally had me. I actually thought that Izzy was going to lash out on her mother. I actually thought she might even hit her, but I don't know. But as far as Maya, I can't remember. Is her name Mia? Is it Maya? I think it's Mia. But as far as Mia, the Kerry Washington character, I thought Mia, y'all tell me how y'all thought about her character, but I thought Mia, she was selfish a lot of the times, but also selfless as well. Like, can you be selfish and selfless? If you can, I think that was Mia. I think she was perfect description of being selfish and also selfless as well. Because even though, and his hair is bothering me, there we go. Even though, she never cared enough about what her daughter wanted. Like, her daughter always wanted to stay in one place. She always wanted to stay in one house. She always wanted to stay in one school. They was hopping. Like, even when she went to her teacher to ask to be pushed up to the next math class because she already took the other math class at her old school, the teacher like, you done been like 3-4 schools just at high school. So he didn't think that she's ever been settled enough to truly learn the math class properly that she was saying she no longer needed to take because she already took it before. So, even though her mother did in that part, as far as that part, never really cared what her daughter wanted, it was always about her. I mean, you can see why towards the end, when we find out, how much she was trying to protect her daughter, but was she really trying to protect her daughter, or was she trying to protect herself from, the family who was supposed to raise Pearl, her daughter? And we did find out that story, to closer to the end of the series. Now we know that she was afraid that she might have tried, that the family might have tried to come after her, either with the police or with attorneys, but she did promise them a baby. She promised them a baby. They promised her $12,000. They did their part, that so she could attend her school the next year because remember she had got the letter in the mail saying have been funds have been minimized for the next year for kids who were like on scholarships or something, and so that they couldn't renew her scholarship. So, in trying to find money, her brother told her, there's a way. There's always a way. You have to find a way. So when that family presented to themselves the idea to her, that, they can't have a baby, his wife can't have a baby, and since Mia looks so much like his wife, he thought that he would approach her and they offered her $10,000 at first. But then when she found out she needed $12,000 to go to school another year, she said, well, I couldn't do it less than 12. So they gave her $12,000. And she got inseminated. Is that how you say it? With the with the turkey baster. And you know what? I'm laughing because hey, and what you said you haven't watched it yet, so just drop it in to say hi. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in on me. Make sure you guys hit the like button. But I got this hair in my face. But I was talking, the reason why I came on late tonight was because I was talking to my best friend who's out of town. She lives out of town. And we was talking about this show. And she was telling me, she was like, the question that I have about the whole show, she said, I got one question. I'm like, what's that? And because she knew I was doing a review tonight. And she said, the one question I have about the show is, when she kept saying, this is my baby, when she didn't want to give up her baby that she literally was paid $12,000 to bring into this world, she said, my bestie said, how the heck did she get pregnant? She said, I was wondering, did she have to have sex with the husband? And I was like, no. I said, you don't remember the part when Mia was sitting on the bed and her teacher at that time, which we found out was also her lover, her significant other, her girlfriend, we found out that she was sitting on the bed, and she had this turkey baster. And some of y'all might remember, some of y'all might not, because it was a really quick scene. And she had this turkey baster in her lap. And she was telling her mentor, her teacher, she was telling her, I've never even inserted anything as small as a tampon inside of me. And so her teacher girlfriend, she said, nothing? Do you mean to tell me that you are a virgin? Like, she was a whole virgin. Mia was a whole virgin. And the turkey baster, that mug was about, it was round. That turkey baster was kind of round. And so her girlfriend or teacher, she told her, I'll help you. She said, I'll help you. And then that's when the scene kind of cut off. And then, the next scene, it was the mother. She had they had what happened after that? Was that when the mother, her mom called because her brother had been killed? And they didn't really say how the brother was killed. The mother was on the phone screaming and crying, saying he was with his friends. They tried to save him, but they couldn't save him. My son is dead. So I always wanted to know how he died. So if there was a season 2, I would love it if they would mention in there, if Mia would bring up the fact on how he died, if it was a gang-related shooting, if he was out swimming somewhere and he drowned. I mean, if it was, it could have been anything. But what I'm thinking is he might have been like at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what I'm picturing in my head, because her brother seemed like a really decent guy and not out there in all kind of trouble and stuff. So that's one thing that I would like to know, if they did do a season 2. But as far as the baby, when I say it's Mia was selfish and selfless at the same time. Selfish in where she was on the run. Like, I was like, why is she always running? Why is they always hopping house to house? Why? I'm thinking they poor, they can't afford a house, they getting put out, they getting evicted. I'm like, what's going on here? But they just wasn't staying in the same spot because she didn't want the husband and the wife who paid her the $12,000 to find out where she was. And that probably was another reason why she didn't stay in contact with her mother. Like, after her mother, like her mom, that was so wrong. I thought that was so wrong. I thought that was wrong as heck. When she told her that she was not allowed, like she literally dropped everything, jumped on a plane, I'm assuming, jumped on a plane and flew out to her mother and to be there, to help her mother grieve and, bury her, her brother. And she's all dressed up, all nice and cute, got her black on, but because of the fact that her mother wasn't happy that she came home pregnant as heck, looking like she was about to burst any moment, her mother, was one of those women who didn't want anybody looking at her like, you sent your daughter off to college and she done came back with a whole baby. So, some people got parents like that where it's like they're embarrassed, and she figured like everybody, it would be like the talk of the town. Her talented daughter went to New York, and see, that's what happens when you go to New York, and that's what happens when, you come back, you get knocked up, you get pregnant. So she didn't want the people in the town or their family members to be gossiping, to be talking about Mia. And she wanted all the focus to be on Mia's brother, or Mia's mother's son, his funeral, and remembering his son, and not talking about Mia and her big old belly. But I thought that was kind of sad because Mia, she broke down in the bathroom. I mean, she broke down in her room, and she was so sad. And you saw her pick up that little trinket of the was it the Statue of Liberty, I think it was, that she had gave her brother. She had put a necklace chain around it and gave it to her brother when she left for New York. And she saw that, sitting on the nightstand, and she grabbed it and she was crying. That was one of the sadder moments, in the show that kind of had me like, whoo. She was breaking me down. The show was breaking me down. I was like, when shows can get me that emotional, that's when I think it's a really good show, when they can really get me that emotional. But that was one of the sad scenes. But even though she was literally on the run all those years, she still was a true mother. Like a true mother. I mean, she tried to protect her daughter at all costs. At all costs. And even though her mother, that's one thing I was gonna say, her mother, when I said she was wrong as heck, not only because she didn't let her go to the funeral, to see her brother, his casket, say her farewells, her last goodbyes to her. Her parent did that without even, like, I don't even know if they knew how she got pregnant, why she got pregnant. It seemed like that part didn't really matter with her mother. But if they did know that she did it for the money, like, did they even acknowledge, how much she wanted and needed her education, that educational experience, her degree, things like that. Like, those are one of the things that's up in the air for me. That's why I said, if there was be a season 2, there's a few things that I would like to find out, like the mother-daughter, relationship. Like, did her mother, I mean, after she left the house and she packed up all her stuff in her brother's car, and that was crazy. That was crazy because years later, I'm looking at this card, like, this whole representation of Mia was like she's poor, downtrodden, like, like living hand to mouth, like wondering where they gonna get their next piece of food from. I mean, the car that she was driving, her daughter was like in high school when they met the Richardsons, and they were still in that car. So she been having that car ever since her brother died. She left home. She ran off in that car. And, she still had that car. So that car was old. That car was like over 15, probably 20 years old. And again, that leads back to the money. Like her daughter was saying, when her daughter got really mad at her and really frustrated, like, we could have had money. We could have had a nice house. I could have had more than 4 walls. I could have had, all this kind of stuff. I could have had nice clothes. We didn't have to shop at the Goodwills and the thrift stores all the time. You could have easily made money, just like she did when she was helping out her friend BB when she gave her that $30,000. But, yeah, I just had to say that little part about her mom. But yeah, I want to know, like, their relationship, like, if she ever talked to her mother again. Because at the end of the show, we do see how Mia, she takes her daughter, to visit her. Uh, I'm assuming. Now I'm assuming it's her mother and her stepmom. That's what I'm assuming. But was it her mother? I mean, was it her father and her stepmom? Pearl's father and stepmom? Or did they go visit Mia's mom and dad? So Pearl's grandparents. That's one question I have because I don't remember seeing exactly who was inside that house. So that's one question I have. If y'all know the answer to that, please feel free to put it in the chat or put in the comment section. But again, yeah, I thought Mia was pretty selfish at times, but also very, very selfless because she had a heart as big as gold. Like she might not have looked like it, and that might not have been the vibe she gave off, but she did have a big, huge heart. I mean, big enough for her, but for her own family, for her daughter, for all of Elena's kids, not just one, all of her kids, from Izzy to Lexi to Trip to Moody. Like she had enough heart for all them kids, and especially Lexi. Especially Lexi. Like when Lexi came to her that night when she had that abortion, and Mia, it's something about Mia that I like. You didn't have to say the words, but she knew when something was wrong, and she knew exactly what was wrong. Like when Lexi came through that door, she knew immediately that she had abortion. She knew immediately. She let her stay there. She let her cry into her arms. And all this, even though Lexi at the clinic had lied about her name and gave Mia's daughter's name, Pearl, as her own name, because she didn't want nobody to know that she was getting an abortion. And that's why I say she was a lot like her mother. Like everything was all about her. Even when she was, okay, let's talk about Lexi. Even when she, her and her her boyfriend, the black guy, what was his name? His real name is Stevante. And I know somebody here who lives in Omaha named Stevante, but I think we call him Stevie Ante or Stevie, something like that. But his real name was Stevante. I think that's how you say it. And his name in the show was Brian, the black guy with the high top hair. When they were dating, and when he first learned about Lexi stealing Pearl's story about to get into Yale, she stole Pearl's story. She couldn't take the math class she wanted. She had to have somebody who was real rich and influential, and to make that man at the school allow Pearl to take the upper class of the math class. And basically Lexi stole that story and used that as some woman power, some female power story to get into Yale, and it worked. It worked. Yale wanted them to write some kind of story about something that they experienced in life, like a hardship. And she was like, I never had a hardship. We never been homeless. We never been hungry. We never been put out. We never went without. We always had the best cars, the best homes, the best jewelry, the best clothes, the best schools. So she couldn't figure out anything to write about as far as hardship. So she stole Pearl's story. So when her boyfriend, Brian, found out, I was actually thinking, as the show went on, I was actually thinking that at that time, I think he really wanted to break up with her. And y'all tell me how y'all feel about that. But I really think that he wanted to break up with her at that time. But he didn't. He kept giving her more and more chances. But Lexi, she just couldn't comprehend. She couldn't understand the disrespectful level she had reached by doing that, by stealing the story of a poor black girl. from the inner city who's in this bougie white neighborhood with all these rich people and all these nice jobs, and they're, just this little old black family who, just making their way. Like, she couldn't understand how disrespectful that was, not only to Pearl by stealing her story, but disrespectful to people who are really going through hardships and might not be able to go to a school like Yale. So she really couldn't understand that. And that's when I say I think Lexi was just like her mom. I mean, from her voice, from her selfishness to her stubbornness, her not seeming to understand right from wrong, always wanting to have it her way, no matter who she hurt along the way. But in saying all that, I actually do believe that Lexi was not racist at all. Now, Brian, I think he kept trying to imply that, but I don't think, I think she meant well with most of her intentions, but I just didn't think she understood like where she stood compared to where Brian stood. She told him, I don't see black when I see you. He said, that's the problem. You don't see black when you see me. Like, if that's it, then you don't see where I come from. You don't see the hardships that I come from. You don't see the struggle. You don't try to see none of that. You just look right above that. It's just like, oh, this is just my boyfriend. So that was a problem that Brian had with her. And I didn't understand why he was all up in arms all the time about it. But after, watching the whole entire season 1, I understood what he meant. I mean, I knew why he was mad at her about the essay. But when when she went so far as to use, like, she didn't use a friend at school. She didn't use somebody from the neighborhood. She used Pearl Warren. Like, she used a black person's name, a poor girl's name, somebody that somebody might think would be maybe the one who would probably have a baby out of wedlock or go get an abortion. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you don't want to be stereotypical, but you just have to look at the whole picture. And that's why Brian didn't want to be with her no more. And she never told him that she had an abortion. She never told him that she was pregnant. And she knows that I think she knew that it wouldn't even do any good, because the whole way he was looking at her afterwards, it was like, it was over. It was over. And again, I think, and when she was asking him, why do you have sex with me? Why do you stay with me? Why do you have sex with me? Why didn't you dump me a long time ago if you think I'm such a bad person? And she said, why did you tell me you love me? And he was like, because I did love you. I did. I used to love you. But things kept piling up on top of each other. And I think he kind of realized, and it's a good thing that they weren't compatible. They might have been compatible, as far as sexually, but other than that, no, totally two different worlds. And the fact that she didn't see his world, but he saw hers, that was going to be a big issue. So they broke up. She had abortion. She never told him if there was a season 2. That's another thing that I wonder might maybe come up. I know her and Brian broke up, but in the future, like, if they were to go to their own ways, go to different colleges, would that come up again? You know what I'm saying? Would she date another guy from his community, his race? Or, I would love to see her future storyline. But as far as Izzy, Elena's daughter Izzy, who everybody called Izzy. Her real name was Isabella, but Elena, she just had to call her Izzy. Sometimes I wonder, did she really see Izzy for who she was? Or was she trying to ignore it and trying to force it down Izzy's throat? Like, trying to force it back. Wherever it came from, just try to push it back from wherever it came from. Like, she totally tried to make this girl a girly girl. She tried to put her on makeup, try to do her hair. She wouldn't let Izzy be herself. wear what she want to wear, do her hair the way she want to do it. The girl even burned her own hair because she didn't want long hair anymore. She burned it. Like she set it on fire. I'm like, this girl hair, she kill herself just because she don't like, can you just cut it off? Like, I mean, just shave it off, cut it off. But anyway, she had to make a statement. It seemed like she always was trying to make a statement because she wanted people to see who she really was, which was gay, a lesbian. She might have been really, really young, but she wanted people to see who she was. But anyway, Elena refused to call her daughter Izzy, but everybody else called her Isabel. But Izzy, she was so misunderstood. To me, she was just very misunderstood. But from that moment when her ex-girlfriend was treating her so bad, like really bad, like remember that scene in the bathroom where Izzy was like, how do we get like this? We used to be friends. How do we, what happened? And the friend called her a freak. She said, you know what happened? You're a freak. And I was like, I knew right then what it was. I was like, oh, okay. Now, I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was. Because I was thinking Izzy probably came on to her. Izzy probably kissed her or tried to touch her or wrote her a love letter or, something like that. And it made the ex-girlfriend, who we didn't even know was an ex-girlfriend to the end of the season, towards the end of the season. I was just thinking that Izzy tried something, tried to talk to her, tried to holler at her. And the girl was like, oh, hell no, I ain't like that. Strictly, you know what? No, bye, girl. What you call her? Freak, bye, freak, whatever. But I didn't foresee that they were an actual couple. They dated. Well, it was behind the scenes. It wasn't out in the open, but still they had a relationship with each other for a year. I didn't foresee that. I didn't see that coming. And I'm like, how can you as an ex treat her that horribly? Again, I can see if it was like a one-time thing where Izzy came to her and the ex was like, oh, hell no, girl, bye. Girl, bye. But they had a whole relationship. And so I believe that during this entire show, Izzy was dealing with not only rejection, but a broken heart. But Izzy, she's that type of girl, who tries her hardest to hide her feelings and just, instead lash out on others like she was doing to her mom and other people, because she couldn't handle trying to deal with her feelings. She couldn't handle what was really eating her up on the inside. But again, Mia, she saw right through it. And I'm like, ain't that something? That's again why I say Mia was selfish and selfless at the same time. Mia was she was a natural mother, a natural caretaker, even though she even tried to push Izzy out of her life because it seemed to be too much trouble to have, when she was dealing with the troubles with the parents, with Elena and her husband Bill. When, going through the court and the law and the stuff with the baby, with BB's baby, she couldn't turn her back on her. She tried to get rid of Izzy, boy. She like, don't come back, slam the door on her, don't come back. And even with the other child, with what's her name? Lexi, she tried to get them kids out of her life, but she couldn't turn her back on Mia. She couldn't turn her back on those kids. Even though, like Lexi, when she got pregnant by Brian, she couldn't turn her back on them. So, again, as far as Mia, selfish and selfless, that's just how I see her. She didn't run back to Lexi's mother, Elena, to tell her that she was pregnant. Mia, she believed in secrecy. That's one thing. She believed in secrecy. I mean, and it was quite obvious because her daughter, Pearl, her whole entire identity, her whole world was one whole big lie. So she definitely believed in secrecy. So she wasn't gonna snitch on her. She let her cry in her arms. She let her stay at her house that night. But then the next morning, but now, as far as Mia's girlfriend, what was her name? I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But her teacher. Now, we see that from time to time in movies, TV shows, where in real life, where a teacher, even if it's a college professor, will sleep with their college student. So even in college, not just grade schools, but college as well. Um, I believe it's actually I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it's like against some kind of rules or unethical on campuses and whatnot. But in situations like this, it was a female professor who got romantically involved with a female college student of very little means, but who was very, very smart. I wonder, did she really love Mia? Or was she just infatuated by like how brilliant she was, how of of an artist, like you know, I was like, to me, in every sense, Mia at a young age when she was pregnant, before she was pregnant, when she left for college, she just seemed like a small, fragile, little scared child, compared to her teacher, her mentor, and then significant other. So I know Mia stated like towards the end of the first season that she had finally heard when she was talking to Izzy, she was like she had finally heard the words from the person that she fell in love with, which was "I love you," and that was like, then her brother died, and then she packed up all her stuff, and then she drove to, where did they go, to California. She had her baby, then they moved here, and then they ended up in Ohio and Shakers. So y'all let me know that. Do y'all think that the teacher really was in love with her or just kind of fascinated with her? It's like Mia was brilliant. Like even back in high school and college, she was like an amazing, talented artist. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about that on that note as far as the teacher. But what else did I want to talk about? Did I talk about everything I wanted to talk about? I think I did. I think I did talk about everything that I wanted to talk about. But you guys, let me know what you guys thought about the TV show. Let me know if you would love for it to be another season, because some people, even my bestie, is like, oh, I think it should just be a one and done, just one and done. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that too if it's just a one and done. But I got questions, like on the Deanna Irvin's YouTube channel. Their slogan is "We got questions." I'm like, I got questions. We got questions. There's a lot of things that I want to know. Like as far as BB. BB, she jumped in her car. She took off. Once she found out that she wasn't going to have her baby, she took off. She jumped in her car. She packed her stuff. She stole that baby. She kidnapped that baby. She kidnapped that baby. And she was like, that's my baby. She kidnapped that baby and took off. So, I would love to see a season 2, because I want to know if she's going to end up doing exactly what Mia did. What Maya did. I don't know if her name Mia or Maya. I can't remember. But the Kerry Washington character, I wonder if she's going to do the same thing. Like Mia, she took her baby and she left. She was like, this is my baby. I'm not giving this baby up. I don't care if they gave me $12,000. I'm not giving my baby up. BB, she took her baby because she really wanted her baby, even though she gave her baby up. And y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. As far as BB, do y'all think she was wrong? Do y'all think she was right? Do y'all think, her taking her baby in the middle of the night was the right thing to do? Do y'all think she deserved the baby that she left on the stoop of a fire station in the middle dead of winter because she couldn't afford, to feed her? When they showed that scene where she was flipping the lights on and off, they didn't have no lights. They didn't have no gas. They didn't have no water. They didn't have no heat. And the baby wouldn't breastfeed. She wouldn't take to BB and get milk from her. So BB, she was shortchanged at the store. Oh, that lady at the grocery store. Oh, I know I would have cursed her out. BB was 75 cents short on a can of formula for her baby. Now, me personally, and I'm sure a lot of y'all would have been like, oh, you 75 cents. Go ahead, I got you. I do it for strangers when I'm at the store. People be buying liquor, all kind of stuff. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, don't put it back. I got you. How much? There's times where I didn't pay for people's groceries. I didn't even ask how much. I remember this one time I was at Walgreens, and it was two counters. You know how in Walgreens, it's like your back's facing each other at the counters, or you at one counter and then a whole nother counter on the other side is where somebody else is at. And the back of this other customer was to my back, and we were both facing our registers. And it was a guy with a little young girl, looked like she was about 3 or 4. And he had all kind of food in his car. I mean, you could tell he was making one meal. It was spaghetti. It was this. It was that. It was salsa. It was, you could tell he was making one meal. And that was probably going to be their dinner for the evening. And he forgot his debit card, or he forgot his cash at home. And he had to leave. And I was like, oh, you ain't got to do, how much is all that stuff in there? And I didn't even look. He had bleach. He had like noodles. He had sauce. I mean, not sauce, spaghetti sauce. It was something, like to make a meal, and also like some laundry stuff. And I think the bill came up to $16, $20, something like that. I was just like, here you go. And he was so grateful. He was so thankful. And he was like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And whoop, 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 whoop. And I think it was, no. I remember he didn't leave his credit card or cash at home. His debit card wasn't working. That's what it was. His debit card was not working, and he kept running it again and running it again. They even typed in the numbers. And so I don't know if it just was a bad card and he needed to order a new one, or if the bank was having issues, or if he didn't have any money on there. I didn't know, and I didn't ask, and I didn't care. So that part kind of hurt me when the lady, because I think that would have made a world of difference with BB, because I remember times growing up in the hood, we didn't have a lot of money, lights off, gas off. We got our stove and space heaters in the wintertime. I remember a lot of stuff like that going on, shopping at the Goodwills, the thrift stores, food stamps section. I remember all that growing up. And so that really hurt me right there, because there's been plenty of times we had to find a way to keep warm at home, but we had something to eat. You know what I mean? So I think that would have made a world of difference in BB's storyline if that lady would have just gave her 75 cents so she can at least feed her baby and go to the next morning. But that night, she's like, I can't feed my baby. It's cold, no water, no heat. She just took her baby and dropped her off at the fire station. So if there was a season 2, I would love to find out what happened to BB. Did she get caught? Did she raise her baby the way Maya did? Did she, run off into the night and hop city to city and move her child school to school, on the run from the authorities? Did they change names? Did they get fake IDs? I would love to see and hear BB's future storyline, because I can see it kind of like being a spin on Maya and Pearl's, storyline. But other than that, I thought the show, was a really, really great show. I would love for it to be a season 2, but like my bestie said, if it's just a season 1, it's a very memorable season 1. But if it's going to be a season 2, I hope they answer some of the questions, especially with Elena. When her kids set her house on fire, like at the beginning, the movie starts off, it's a fire. And the cops are saying, one of your children or somebody, the cop said something like, somebody set your house on fire with you in it. And they said, where is Izzy? That's what we see at the very beginning of the season. And then at the end of the season, you realize, yeah, it was Izzy who was about to set the house on fire. But then her sibling, her sister Lexi, realized what's going on. She went and got the brothers. They went and got the mom. The mom cussed Izzy out, told her, I never wanted to have you in the first place. And that was it. That was all it wrote. Izzy, she took off and she left. And then Lexi, the other daughter who had been recently dumped by her boyfriend Brian, had an abortion. She was feeling some type of way because her boyfriend was judging her, and he had every right to do it, because she not only stole a poor black girl's story to get into Yale, but she also lied and gave up the black girl's name when she had an abortion for herself. So, he had every right to be judging her and dumping her. But, it finally hit her. Like, they are going to turn out exactly like their mother, Elena. The girl Lexi she's halfway there. She's halfway there. So they was like, do you really want to stay in this house? Do you want to? And so the kids, they all took the gasoline that Izzy was going to set the house on fire with, and they go room to room. That's when I realized why they named it Little Fires Everywhere, because the whole season, I'm thinking, why they call this show Little Fires Everywhere? And I'm thinking, how sometimes we have problems going on in our life, and they're like, oh, it's just a small fire. It's just a small fire. It's easy to put out. Just do this, do that. Pray about it. Everything will work out in the morning. The sun will come out, tomorrow. But, stuff like that. But at the end, I realized they called it Little Fires Everywhere because each kid, the 3 kids that were left, took the gasoline and they poured it all in their own individual bedrooms. And then they went and they lit the fire in each bedroom. And so when the cop came and the fire department came, they said it was little fires everywhere. And they're like, who would do that? Somebody set your house on fire with little fires everywhere while you was in the house. And so the wife, the mother, Elena, she knew it wasn't Izzy because Izzy wasn't there, even though Izzy was the one who first set it off. She was the one who first got caught, pouring the gasoline, in her room. But she knew it wasn't Izzy. And I think she finally realized that she was failing, not as just a person, but as a human being and as a parent, as a wife. And she was like, I did it. So that's another thing I would love to see in season 2. Is she going to go to jail? Is she going to go to a psych ward? Is she going to go to a mental institution? Because I think she was unraveling. Like her husband was like, I don't even know you anymore. So she was definitely unraveling towards the end and going crazy. Like she was like a lunatic, like deranged. Totally different from the person at the beginning who was making all the breakfasts for the kids and baking and cooking and letting the little old poor black family move into their big expensive duplex in a very high end neighborhood. Shakers. So she turned out to be like a 360. I didn't see it coming. So, I would love to see where that storyline is going to go as far as the other kids, what is going to happen to the kids, to the husband. Is he going to get custody of the kids? It's a lot. That movie had a lot. It had a lot of parts and a lot of layers and a lot of racial undertone. It might have took me a minute to see it because you don't see it until you see it. The racial undertone, but I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. Again, I really did enjoy it. But for those of y'all who might come in late on this review, just please check out the show. It's a lot. It's a lot in this show. It's a lot of layers. It's a lot of directions. It's a lot of suspense. But I definitely believe that you should check this show out. Refer it to a friend. Watch it with a friend. And then make sure you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you share the live. If you are not already subscribed to the Hood Table, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, IG, Twitter. And again, we have a private group on Facebook. I did put the link in the chat. So this link up here, That's our private Facebook group. So if you want to join our private Facebook group, click join, go to Facebook, click this link, click join, and answer, a few questions. We have some housekeeping rules like any Facebook group, like most Facebook groups. Be respectful, stuff like that, just simple stuff like most Facebook groups. So yeah, if you want to join our Facebook group, click that link. Also, again, join us on Twitter and IG, and of course our YouTube channel. And one more again, I want to let everybody know who's been following us. We just literally got our partnership email from YouTube. So our channel is now monetized. For the last 2 days, I have been going through all our videos and monetizing them. And then the ones who were limited monetizing because of maybe a title or because of the what do you call it? The picture of on the video. I can't remember what it's called right now at the top of my head, but or because of the content, sometimes YouTube, especially right now when they're going through, this pandemic, and they don't have a lot of people, as many as they normally have to review videos. They don't have as many. So a lot of their videos, they're going strictly by titles and stuff like that. Thumbnails, that's what I was thinking, thumbnail pictures, and some of the videos are getting restricted, not restricted, but limited commercials. So I have to go through all those and appeal all those, because sometimes you appeal them even though you think they might not approve them. Sometimes you appeal them. Me, when I get a notification from YouTube that my one of the videos can't be fully monetized, even on my other channel, I have another channel that's been monetized, Tanya's Primetime TV Media Reviews. Every time I get a video over there, I always appeal it. And sometimes you'll get an email saying, we double checked, we checked your video out, and we approved it to get full monetization. So when you receive that from them, don't just be like, oh, they ain't approved it, all that. A lot of people are like that, and they be talking about YouTube never approved my videos for full monetization. I recommend that you click that little button, ask them to check it out again. They either gonna say no or they gonna say yes. But usually in my case, and I do all type of content from reviews, news stories, good and bad stories, trending news. We do all kind of interviews on here, different topics. So a lot of times, we get a lot of, don't get me wrong, a lot of our videos are fully monetized, but there are one that'll be like every other 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos that might not be fully monetized. It'll be limited, so you're gonna get something off of it, but I would appeal each one. So that's just my recommendation as far as that. And also I want to say thank you again. We are going to have our official celebration for being monetized on this channel. This is my second channel to be monetized. Now I'm going to be working on my third channel, which is my cake decorating channel that I do live cake decorating on. Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice. A lot of you guys are already subscribed over there as well. If not, make sure you go to that channel as well. Tanya's Delights Slice by Slice. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the link in there for that one too. So I already put the link in there for our private The Hood Table group on Facebook. And I'm going to put the link in here now for my other channel, my cake decorating channel. YouTube is so slow. Tanya's Delights Slice by Slice. Okay, here we go. Nice. Okay, let me grab this link. And please support this channel as well. I really appreciate everybody who supports our channels. I have people on the Hood Table. I have some of you guys on Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice. And I have some of you guys on Tanya's Primetime TV. And some of y'all are on each one. So I do appreciate it so very much. Again, we'll have our official, me and my co-host, or my co-host and I, we'll have our official monetization celebration very, very soon. Waiting on that super chat button, because the super chat button, that button takes sometimes 5 days, a week to get on your channel to get enabled once you get monetized. So that's when we're going to officially do our celebration. So hopefully that'll be soon because we just got monetized yesterday. So with that being said, to my The Hood Table family and Tanya's Primetime TV squad, make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to this channel, to Tanya's Primetime TV Media Reviews, and to Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice. And don't forget to join The Hood Table on Facebook. The Hood Table on Facebook. Oh, let me drop another link. And then I promise I'm gonna get out of here. I promise I get out of here after this. I'm gonna drop another link. That's to our Ruthless. For those of y'all who are Ruthless fans of Tyler Perry, season 1 of Ruthless has been lit so far. Episode 7 comes on tomorrow. That show is only available on BET Plus. BET Plus. You can get it on your phone app or on your iPad, or it's free for like a week, and then after that it's like $9.99 or something a month. But that TV show Ruthless by Tyler Perry, off the chain. So I have a private Facebook group for Ruthless as well. So I just put that in the chat. So if you want to join the Ruthless group, we got people joining every day in droves. Because there are a lot of people out there who is truly enjoying that Ruthless, very controversial. I cannot talk today. But that show on BET Plus is so good. It's so good. It's so left field for Tyler Perry. So left field. But, I'm enjoying it. It's very controversial. A lot of people are enjoying it. So I put 3 links in the chat. One of them to my other YouTube channel called Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice, my cake decorating channel. One of them to our private The Hood Table Facebook group, and the other one to our Ruthless private Facebook group. So please join all of those. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And like and share this video. And in the meantime and in between time, I hope you enjoyed the live review of Little Fires Everywhere Season 1. Stay safe, be blessed, remain healthy, and I'm out. Deuces.